One team coming in all rested, that being the Buccaneers, but they've lost two straight with their bench players on the field. The other coming in all banged up, but maybe with a little momentum, that being the Giants after that great game against the Patriots last weekend. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, NFL.com's Pat Kirwan. Glad to be with you here, breaking down the playoffs and the previews presented by Comcast. And Pat, let's start with the Giants because it was a very good game. Eli Manning in the offense was he was more explosive and the team was more explosive than they have been since week one when they played the Cowboys in that loss. But they're banged up. And Sean O'Hara, the center, he may not go. Kavika Mitchell, the linebacker, he may not go. Sam Madison, the corner, he may not go. That's got to play a huge impact in this game.
Sure it does, and I commend them for the effort they gave and gave the audience who watched football last Saturday night a great show. But their responsibility is to get in the playoffs, which they had already done, and now start winning in the playoffs, so they do jeopardize their chance to do that. And on a turnaround of 7 days, get down to Tampa Bay against a team that's very well rested. Now, Antonio Pierce told me last week that he was already watching Tampa film the days before the Patriot game. And so I asked Jeff Garcia today, I said, when do you start watching Giant film? He said about 12 days ago. So these two teams will be very well prepared for this. But I'm going to respond to your first word, momentum. Last year, the New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears, they took the last game off. They couldn't care less, lost it, and they still found themselves in the NFC Championship game. I suspect momentum is overrated if you have a veteran team, and Tampa Bay is a veteran team.
Certainly in a veteran quarterback, and Jeff Garcia knows how to beat the Giants. In fact, people know that the Giants have not won a playoff game since the 2000 season when they went to the Super Bowl, and a big part of that has been Jeff Garcia. Beat him last year when he was with Philadelphia, beat him before when he was with San Francisco, and you pointed out to me that those are the only two playoff wins that Jeff Garcia has ever had in his career. He gets the Giants again in a game, the first time that's ever been the Giants and the Buccaneers in the playoffs. They've never met in the postseason before. But he hasn't played in essentially 3 weeks, Pat.
Well, he's only played 2 games in the last 5 weeks. But I talked to Jeff for about a half hour today, and he's, as he called himself, energized, ready to play, and excited. Now, he has something else on his side. He was in Philadelphia last year, like Jason told you, but he was with Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator. And for a big part of the season, Jeff was the scout team quarterback, which meant every day he was taking the Philadelphia Eagle backups against the fire zone blitz scheme that, ironically, he's going to see now. He has a great sense of when and where the pressure comes from.
Meanwhile, on the other side, you've got Eli Manning, a quarterback who has been in the playoffs the last 2 years, and the Giants have lost in the wild card weekend in each of the last 2 years. His playoff games have not been great. In fact, he's had some turnovers. He's had 4 picks in those 2 playoff games. Last year against the Eagles, the year before against Carolina. Now he goes up against the pass defense in Tampa Bay, which is very good. They don't blitz a lot. They're coming after you with 4 guys. Is Manning capable after last week, when he had a great game against the Patriots, is he ready for this Tampa Bay defense?
Look, I'm a big fan of Eli's. I've said it on this show many weeks in a row. Get off his back. The guy's a good quarterback. Is he perfect? He's far from perfect. But he's on his way to being an exceptional quarterback. He's leading his team to the playoffs for the 3rd time in 3 years. But I talked to Sage Rosenfeld, the quarterback of the Houston Texans, yesterday, specifically about playing quarterback against the Buccaneer defense. Here's what he said to me. You have to be extremely patient. Don't throw the ball downfield. Don't get tempted to throw balls over 10 yards downfield. They jump those routes. They're all over them. I said, but that's a pretty hard task. He said, if Eli wants to win, he's going to have to run the ball on first downs. He's going to have to get 3 or 4 yards. He's going to have to run the ball again, and he had a plan for how to run it, and then throw the checkdowns, little checkdowns to your tight ends, little checkdowns to your back, and quarterbacks don't want to do it. So the challenge for Eli is, can you ignore Plax? Can you ignore Amani Toomer down the sideline? Can you understand that defense wants you to throw the ball there? They're built to stop those plays and keep chipping away at it. If you see Eli come out throwing the ball vertically, they're going to be in trouble.
And Ahmad Bradshaw is back for that check down. Brandon
there
Jacobs
it is.
to run.
That's
Ahmad Bradshaw to check down. And, of course, the tight end Boss, the rookie, as well. All right, let's put all these numbers into a computer and everything and take a look at the AccuScore prediction here for this playoff game. Remember, first ever meeting between the Bucs and the Giants in the playoffs. And on the computer, the Bucs come out 58% of the time. Pat, a lot of people like the Giants the way that they played last week. But do they have a letdown?
They're not going to have a letdown. They're going to play with great pride, and they've got really great character on this football team, led by their quarterback who's not a screamer and yeller. But they're going to struggle here. Why? When you look at the real games, throw out the last game there. You look at the real games of the Tampa Bay defense when they had to use all their players and play well, 11 points a game. So the 18 points that the computer dug out for the New York Giants, the guy who invented it must be from the Giants. I think the Giants struggle to get more than 10 points in this football game, and I like Tampa Bay not to have a big scoring day. 17 points. You'll see a vertical route to Joey Galloway early in this football game, and then you're going to see what we talked about in a post-game show 2 weeks ago, the use of the tight ends, and Garcia backed me up on it. Jeremy Stevens and Alex Smith. Look for those two guys working the middle of the field, trying to get Antonio Pierce to step up into the running lanes and not defend the short pass.
And you hit on a key point, Joey Galloway, because if Sam Madison can't go, look for the deep ball early to Joey Galloway, because Garcia has done that in almost every game this season, at least except the last two when they haven't played. One other thing to look out for, the three quarterbacks, Pat, that have played the Patriots very closely, that being Peyton Manning of the Colts, A.J. Feely of the Eagles, and Kyle Bowler of the Ravens. The next week, they went out and combined for 13 interceptions. So Eli Manning played the Patriots very well. He's got to be careful.
Last point here. Garcia, 4 interceptions, 2 lost fumbles all year, 6 times. Eli Manning, 20 interceptions, 7 lost fumbles. He can't be that Eli. He's usually better on the road, but if he's anywhere near that one, they're in a lot of trouble.
And, of course, with Tampa Bay's defense, that could be very difficult.
Right.
We'll see how that all plays out Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern. And for more on this game or any other here in the playoffs, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com and watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. For NFL.com's Pat Kirwan, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.